Hello, everyone, travel tech and tourism pros. Welcome to another AI Tourism Talks episode. I believe this will be really useful to you. Believe me, the topic is great and the guest is awesome. That's for sure. Just let me know, just to see people are hopefully joining. We will see now. So at the start, I usually invite people to comment from which country or city they are attending the LinkedIn Live. So while we are doing this in this introduction part, you can leave the comment from which country and city you are attending. And of course, afterwards, during the session with my guest, I will invite you also to leave your questions. Hopefully, there will be questions for the end of the session. And then my guest, Roisin, will answer to most of them, hopefully, during the session. If not, then afterwards, okay? So today we are talking about a topic that matters to a lot of small and medium travel and tourism and travel tech businesses right now in this momentum, and that is practical AI for small and medium businesses, where to start and what to avoid. Because AI is moving fast, but many businesses are still asking the same questions, so to say. Where to start, where do we start actually, what should we actually use for it, the AI itself, what should we avoid, also important question, and how do we use AI without losing trust, quality of the human side of the business, which is crucial for tourism industry. That's exactly what we are going to unpack today. And today I have a genuine pleasure to welcome Ms. Roisin Bennett. Roisin has been one of my strongest supporters since the beginning of my online presence on LinkedIn, and it's truly a genuine honor to finally have her here as a guest. She brings a rare combination that makes her especially relevant to this audience tonight and today. She comes from a deep tourism and aviation background, including work connected with to Shannon Airport and tourism promotion to the west of the island. She has seen the industry evolved from the pre-internet era, traditional travel distribution and old school systems, so to say, all the way to digital transformation, and now with AI and artificial intelligence. Today, she helps small and medium businesses simplify, implement, and scale AI in a practical way, which I appreciate really well. So this is not a theory, just to mention and emphasize. This is someone who understands tourism, understands small and medium businesses, and understands how to make AI useful in the real world. My dear Roisin, welcome. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you, Ivan, and it really is a pleasure to be here. I think we connected on LinkedIn through AI, but we also share that passion for tourism, and I see what you post. I really like what you do. So, and that's why I support you, because you do really good stuff. Yeah, I suppose my career has been in two parts. The first part was all tourism and travel related, and for Ireland, it's our biggest indigenous industry, tourism. We're a small country, but we don't have, it's not mass tourism, so we have to be very clever about how we marketed ourselves overseas. I was based in France for 10 years promoting the west of Ireland, and went to all the big travel and tourism shows that you would have gone to. So I know how we traditionally worked with tour operators and travel agents. And then, it was the arrival of internet and low-cost carriers. They kind of came around the same time, and things changed in how we marketed ourselves. So I did, I suppose I've been through all the ages, but I see that I've always adopted the technology and seen what it can do for tourism and what it can do for small operators. But I see now AI is the biggest opportunity, and it is because when you think about it, the last waves, the first wave of internet coming online, it meant that all the tourism operators, they had to build a website, they had to get online. They had to, they had previously had brochures and flyers. Now they had to get online and have a website. Then came social media and mobile. So it meant that the small tourism operator had to promote themselves through social media posts. It actually brought on more work. They had to become a digital marketer, really.
Exactly.
Whereas now, I will argue that AI, it's not something like an add-on, it's not something new. AI actually does work for you. AI is the first technology that's going to help the small tourism operator actually do work and take away and give you back time, because the type of I think tourism businesses that you work for and work with, Ivan, and I in my past, they're the face of the organization. They're the PR, their communications, they juggle everything. And then high season comes and they're full on the face of the industry. So it's really tough. It has been really tough. Whereas now with AI, you can build out your AI team and your AI system that work with you and for you. So that's why I get excited about it. And I really want organizations to understand. I often find that small businesses think, oh, AI isn't for me. I have my website, it isn't for me. But in actual fact, it's a great opportunity. And I think the other really important thing for small tourism businesses to understand is that, while it is a huge opportunity, but they kind of have to understand how it works now because of the discovery of their clients, how they're going to find their business. People are using AI search now, not a Google search. And so if they're not found on an AI search, they don't exist. And that's really important for business to understand how that works, because how do you get found on an AI search? And it is about producing really good content, but producing your information and your website has to it has to be restructured to be found by AI and answer a question. It's not so much about SEO or keywords now. It's about answering a question and citations and being found in the right places. So it's really important because AI will now find the direct answer to someone's query, as opposed to 10 blue lines on a Google search. So that's particularly important. The AI visibility for small businesses is really important to understand, because they can now compete with the bigger. If they're well-structured content and information on their website and they're on the right platforms, they can now compete with bigger organizations. So the opportunity is really there. And that's where I come from. I see it as the opportunity as opposed to a challenge.
Excellent. I see there are some people joining live, and maybe they didn't hear that they can and they should post from which country, city they are attending, just to welcome them. And also they can post their comments on which you will answer until the end of the session. let's continue. You already have touched your own perspective in your introduction. I will not go back again to this part. I will go with the second part, and that is why many small and medium businesses still struggle with AI. So the question for you is a lot of actually smaller and medium travel businesses, let's say SMBs, let's call them like this, know AI matters, but still feel stuck and or overwhelmed. So why do you think they are getting they are getting wrong first? What's the first thing they're getting wrong?
Yeah, I think that it's not only in tourism and travel, but it's thinking tools first. Like when I meet organizations, they say, what's the best tool? What's the best tool to be using? It's not an AI tool issue. It's about the problem it's solving for you, or it's about a system, as opposed to people are adopting tools before they really understand what they wanted to do for them, and it's become overwhelming for so many people. It's not just in tourism and travel, because every day there's a new tool, there's a new advancement, and it's hard to know. So we're all jumping in we're jumping in the deep end. We're trying them. I'm guilty of it. I've been doing it for the last 2 years, trialing every tool that comes out. And you're afraid, well, if I don't try this, but in actual fact, when it's not about the tools, the capability of the technology that we have now with AI, Ivan, you don't need any more. Actually, if it just stopped right there, we don't need the next new tool. The tools that we have right now allows a small business to put a really effective system in place. We don't need new tools. We can, for small businesses on the creative side, on the research and the analytics side, the lead generation side, we have everything that we need. So I'd say avoid jumping and going for the FOMO of the next new tool. Look more at building out a system and an operating system for your business. And there's ways to go about that. It might seem intimidating from the outset, but it's going back to a plan, building out what it is you need, mapping out all of your data and your current tools that you're using. And with AI, you have the ability to create workflows that actually get rid of all of the busy tools. Like I see a lot of organizations, I say a lot of small businesses, and they have maybe they'll have 5 or 6 tools open on their laptop at any one time, but none of them are talking to each other. So as the owner and the business owner, you become like you're still busy, going from one to the other. Nothing is joined up, or nothing's talking to each other. So you might have Canva open for creating your imagery and your adverts, and you have ChatGPT open for creating emails, but nothing's actually talking to each other. So it's at the moment, I think we're actually going through a transition really now, because when AI started out first, or when we were all introduced to a ChatGPT in 2022, it was a chatbot, so it answered questions for us. Then in the beginning of last year, the MCP, it was the ability to connect up all of your tools together. That was a huge progression. It meant that your tools could now talk to each other. And then just early this year, the agentic AI and the ability of that now to act as a co-pilot, a teammate in your organization to carry out tasks, is where we're at now, and that's now progressing very fast. And so it has, for everybody, it has been a roller coaster. We've all been working out how to make it work for us, but I think it's important for small business to realize that it is actually escalating very quickly now, and businesses need to get on board, because of the pace of change, but also because of the opportunity.
Excellent. I would say that to wrap it up, this part, less is more, right? Just simple as it is.
I agree.
Just to welcome people here, we have Navriz. Hopefully, I'm saying properly. His name, Aman Jordan. Sorry, and then we have Helen Katzman. Travel writer, tuning from Malaysia. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for attending, Helen. And one user is Maria from Greece. Thank you, Maria, for joining us. I see there are more people. They are just not posted. Sorry. There is one. A hat. I don't see the flag. I don't see my glasses. But yeah, maybe. I don't see it exactly, but thank you for joining ahead. Just leave your comments and I will just introduce you here, and of course leave your questions in the meantime, and now we will continue with the questions to my guest. So you said systems, not tools, actually is the next phase, so to say. One thing I really like in your approach is that you don't frame AI just as a pile of tools. You already mentioned this. You frame it as more as a system. Why is that shift in thinking so important, especially in travel and tourism?
Well, particularly, it means that you can create a system, a workflow, joining up your, creating a system that means you're not working with individual tools, and that it's working for you in a seamless way, in an automated way. The way things are going is that with AI agents and agentic AI, is that an agent can carry out a whole function for you. I think where we've come from with chatbots, they answered a certain question. They'd answer, they'd give you information. But with agents, it's like we used to describe chatbots or co-pilots as the intern. You give the intern a brief and they did a certain task. With agents, it means that they're more than an intern. They're a teammate that can carry out a whole series of tasks.
Can we just stop for a little bit, because maybe there are people here who are not even using AI at all. So yes. Can you just explain really shortly what is the difference and which are the platforms for chatbots, and what is the difference between chatbot and AI agent? Just shortly.
Yeah, like chatbots, within, we'll say, when ChatGPT arrived, we were all using it as a chatbot. We asked it a question and it gave us an answer. Or we, with then, as I said, MCP, or we were able to connect up the different tools and they could carry out a certain function. With the AI agents, it all kind of it escalated at the beginning of this year with OpenClaw. It meant that this autonomous agent could carry out a whole function. It could carry out a whole kind of suite of activity, and I think there was a lot of talk on LinkedIn about OpenClaw, because it showed the opportunity. Like it meant that you could direct, or it could take autonomous it could act autonomously for you in a certain function, and it was I at the time when it was launched, it there was a lot of security issues, and that was true. But it shows what is coming.
Yeah.
And the ability of so for instance, like a Claude Cowork now is operating as an AI agent, and so with guardrails and with certain securities built in, but it can, so it's, I think the best way to describe it is, you know, AI as your teammate. If you were, for instance, a small business, you can, and in the tourism industry, you can build an AI agent with instruction, with all of your data and information to carry out activity for you, carry out functions for you. So you could have your marketing agent, and it can carry out functions for you. So it's and that whole area is advancing at a speed. And by the end of this year, I think we'll have, you know, the future is that you'll have AI agents within your organizational chart. But the way I look at it is that human controls it. So for a small business and tourism, you have your suite of AI agents that do things for you. You're in control. There's always human in the loop. And particularly for, you know, human facing interaction, that there's always human in the loop. Like I see the particularly for travel business and tourism business, you know, trust and that personal and human interaction is key. I'm not saying replace that. The AI agents do the admin and the repetitive work that allows you to then focus on the human and the human interaction, and that's really, really important. That we're building out these systems, and you know, it's systems, it's agents working for you, that you're building in your ethical guardrails at the very beginning, and you know we have a process for that. You know, you're never sharing confidential or personal information. You're instructing your agents to always question what they say. I know people are concerned about hallucinations and AI, what might be said, but you know, you build that into your instructions with an agent, and it's very effective. You say, if you're ever unsure, don't give a wrong answer. only give the answers that we supplied you with. Like I think a lot of, you know, within Europe here now, we have the EU AI Act, and we have to, and there are strict guidelines around how we use AI, but it's really based on a risk on a risk level. For the types of businesses we're talking about, they're not at high risk level, but you do build in guardrails and safety and security at the very beginning when you're building your agent. And I think that it's for the smaller businesses and the SMEs, we have greater flexibility really than the large enterprise to build in these guardrails. We're not in the whole marketing area. It's not high risk area that we have to be concerned about.
Excellent. Thank you for this part. I will just add one more sentence here, and we will continue furthermore, that LLMs are chatbots. You chat with them, and
Yes.
there are AI agents, like independent AI agents, and there is so-called agentic AI. That means that you are making your, let's say, army of agents and combining them in a system, right?
Yes.
So that's the difference. That's just to be clear to the audience. And that leads to the next section, and that what should come before the automation, and what should be in place before a travel business starts automating things, or adding more AI tools. I know you have prepared the small presentation here. I will add it to the stage now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So it
like
is.
for any AI usage, whether it be agents or chatbots, the most important thing is to have your foundations right in the first place and building those foundations. And I would say that traditionally, smaller businesses, they probably haven't built these proper foundations for their current business. AI allows you to do it. AI allows you to build these really solid foundations by, building out a strategy. And so these are our 5 pillars before we will touch AI, or encourage a business to implement AI agents. So it's building out your we call the 5 pillar readiness check, and these are all really important, but really important for any business, in your marketing.
Absolutely.
And what I find AI most beneficial for, Ivan, is actually building out the strategy, and because what AI is so amazing at is collating that data, accessing the data, and so for building your strategy and really identifying, I think most businesses don't really know who their ICP is. They have a general idea, but
I can
AI
confirm
allows
this.
you. Yeah, I know that, and AI allows you to get hyper focused in who your ICP is. And I find that really, we've a whole technique for finding your ICP with AI, and it allows you to get so focused, and that's where, rather than jump into using tools, get your foundations right first. And so within those 5 pillars, we would say that, score your business on each pillar, and start by fixing whichever one is the lowest scoring before you start adopting AI. When you're implementing AI, it will only work if you have given it the proper data in the first place. So if you start, I give it the proper context about your business. So if you start out just building tools, because there is that tendency now, we can build great images, we can build videos with AI, jumping ahead and not getting these foundations right. And it happened really with social media. Business said, we can now create an ad on social media. We can, have an advertising campaign with social media, but probably didn't have their foundations in place. So I would say, get your foundations in place, document all your systems and your data. AI can't do anything with your unless they have the data about your system. They mapping out the skills. Skills, I suppose, are documenting your standard operating systems and documenting how you operate, so that you're ready to instruct AI how you want to operate. And then so having all your processes and workflows ready. So I find when we work with businesses, we don't touch an AI tool for maybe weeks, because a lot of the time this data and this information is in people's heads. So it has to be mapped out. We have to document it so that we can we can instruct AI then with it, or we can instruct an agent with it. So these are really, it might seem like the boring part, but you often find that you're back and forth with the business to kind of extract all this information that's in their head. You know that like a small tourism business that are probably the front face of the organization, they haven't documented a lot of what they do on a day-to-day basis. Like, how do they handle a request when it comes in for it's maybe a request for somebody wants to have a wedding in their hotel. They know the way they do it, and I've spoken to some hoteliers, and they said, but it is the human connection. People want the human connection, and that's great, but people also want an answer pretty quickly.
Absolutely.
So it's documenting all those processes, and when you go through this process to get ready, I think our businesses are always amazed when they say, "Oh my gosh, look at the process! It doesn't make sense," and it helps you to in getting AI ready, it's a great way of auditing your processes and seeing what's not working, and deciding then what, if there's a repetitive task, like we would say to businesses, pick that, task that is repetitive, that takes up so much of your time, that if it's happening every day, if it's happening every week, definitely AI can come in here and make it, and automate those systems, and you get time back. It's not about implementing AI for the sake of it. It's about getting time back, and being able to dedicate your time to others. So so that is the that next slide you're showing up there. It's where for a tourism business, where they can deploy it first, and where they can get high value or low risk areas. Because when starting out, we would say something high value but low risk. Where you're not. It doesn't need to be something where it's human facing, or it's something that's something that's low risk, and try implementing and getting. I think when it's actually it comes down to when you actually experiment with AI and implement it, and it solves a problem for you. That's where organizations see the real.
Sorry to interrupt you. This is kind of like a SWOT analysis, right?
Well, this was really where
similar to SWOT, right?
How to
strengths, weaknesses, something like that.
Yes, it was like it's how to choose. It's how to choose what to automate first. So you can. So it's you've audited your systems and your current processes, and you decide, well, we could automate this because we do it repetitively, or we could delegate that, we could simplify this, or we could just ignore it because it's not that important. But so the cases that we see with the travel business that they benefit, immediately, is kind of, in these the listed on the right there, like guest communications, drafting first replies to inquiries, or FAQs, things that they're currently doing manually that can be automated. So the likes of itineraries and proposals. Like I know I've worked with some, actually just recently, with hotels, and they had, they specialize in weddings, but they had no itineraries or proposals ready for, day 2 of the wedding, or what a package might look like. So you can have, if you have that documented and ready, things like summarizing weekly reviews. I find a tool that a lot of businesses aren't using yet, but it is the note taker when you're having, we'll say, that interaction with again, it was a hotelier. They were specialized in weddings, and they had that first call with the wedding couple, and like they were literally writing out the notes of the meeting and then replying in great detail about all very manual and time consuming. So had they had a note taker or an AI note taker that and it seems kind of obvious, but it doesn't. It's not always. It's kind of a very important part in what AI can do. And then on the whole kind of ops and admin side, the real power of AI is extracting data from your emails and your past communication, and then it can populating your CRM with that data. Being able to personalize future communication, because it can analyze and have memory in that data, and things like we say multilingual support. It does, like, businesses now can reach out, convert their website or their communications, it can be in video, language, or transcript in any language, and so it opens up. They would have been things that would have cost a business quite a lot in being able to get things translated. So it does open up a bigger audience, and we probably don't always think about that. We now can go into other markets and communicate with that audience. So there's there are areas, kind of immediate areas, that travel businesses could be adopting it and see a real benefit. I think that slide you're showing there was
the next one, right?
So it was, yeah. So it has been the progression from, and we spoke about it was initially it was ChatGPT and chatbots, so it was kind of Q&A. People were using it like Google, and then the workflows. This was a really big progression. Then when we were able to automate steps, so it wasn't just an answer. It could actually automate and take steps for you and connect with your CRM, for instance, and then the use of it, reading your inbox and without a lot of custom integrations. MCP, I suppose, was the model context protocol was a big advancement. It was like making the API, the connectors, available to everybody.
Can you just explain the expression, because I believe most of the people are not familiar with the MCP itself.
Yes, so the model context protocol, that's MCP, that came out the beginning of 2025, and it meant then that it was like a USB cable, but that's the way it's explained, that it could connect safely your different tools together, so they could actually connect together, that we didn't previously had, and that was a huge step. It meant that we could create workflows and kind of custom integrations with tools that you were using already. It's not like that is the beauty of AI. It's, you may have tools you're using, it's going to connect them up. It doesn't mean necessarily getting rid of every tool that you're using. It's building a system around what you have. And maybe getting rid of some tools that you probably now don't need. And then the next progression then are agents and agentic systems. And, people are going to be hearing about them nonstop for 2026 because, because it does mean that it can take actions for you. It's using your tools, and you're giving it an instruction. So you're giving an agent, it's more outcome led. So you're saying, this is the task, this is what I want you to achieve. So that has been a huge progression, and I think that whole area is 2026 is the year for agents. You'll find that by I think they're saying by 2030, half our employees will be agents, but to think of it in a positive way, agents that work within your organizational chart, agents that work with a small operator that you're delegating to, and that you are there is a loop that you're training them, but you're also checking. And it doesn't mean that they're replacing people. I see the agentic and agents as just such a great opportunity for small business that didn't have a marketing department before. They didn't have the resources and the ability to have this. Now gives the small businesses the opportunity to operate with maybe 15 extra staff that they can't recruit, but that they in agentic with agentic AI.
Absolutely. I will add to this point that people are really afraid in any industry, and maybe especially in tourism, they will lose their job. And I know other creators, either in this industry or other industries, who are suggesting other scenarios, and that is, what if you have, for example, 10 people or 5 people or whatever, 15 people, team members, and you train them to use AI properly and to use, moreover, AI agents and agentic AI. Then you will have, like, from team of 10 humans, you can multiply this team, I don't know how many times, right? With AI agents and agentic AI. And then you can get even better results compared to your, especially comparing with your competitors, which are not implementing this as they say, and this is like already not a new information, you will not be replaced by AI itself, at least not for now. You will be replaced with a human who is using and leveraging AI, especially in a proper way, if you agree.
Yes. I agree. No, I agree. And so that's what I talk about. It's the opportunity for the small business to integrate it, because they didn't previously have a marketing or a sales department. So AI gives them that opportunity. There's no doubt about it. That there, in certain areas, there are job losses. So we're hearing it every day. And like I think Anthropic and they've said, like, code or Claude code can now do 90% of what a coder used to do. It may be 100% by the end of the year. So there are certain areas that.
But they are actually. I read the information today. This is brand new information from Anthropic. They are increasing their team. I don't know where exactly. They're in one office. Don't mark my words. But let's say from 200 to 800 people, or maybe it's less number, but it doesn't matter. So they're increasing 4 or 5 times more with humans. Even
with
they
humans.
have with humans. With humans, of course, they are laying off many people from other companies. But now I'm talking about, okay, now they are in rise because they are becoming more and more important, and the competition is always strong, right, between the tools. But they're increasing the number of humans, which is also interesting to hear. We already touched where I can help first. You already mentioned this, not to come back again, and teammates and agents, right? I will go to next section, and that is trust, which is really super crucial, at least for me personally. I believe also for any business, and that is trust, privacy, ethics, and guardrails. So in travel, especially, trust matters a lot. And I mean, in any industry, but in travel is like it's in core of any business in travel, in tourism, and travel tech, of course. And what should smaller businesses be careful when using AI, especially around privacy, brand voice, and customer communication?
Yeah, I mean that is critical, particularly in tourism. And so, I would encourage businesses to follow. It's like a 5-point plan. They don't. I mean, number one is that there's no personal information or payment information or any sensitive information included. For sensitive areas, there's always human in the loop. Still, I would, while we're talking about autonomous agents, that there will always be a human check. I still do it, even if it's creating content for social media, that there's always a final human in the loop before. And, that is important as well, Ivan, that with any AI strategy and policy, that you have assigned somebody that's responsible. So if it's in small, so somebody is responsible for it, that it's not just a strategy you've created and then nobody's responsible. So having a human in the loop is important. I
like to say, and not only me, all the experts, implementing AI tools like any kind of tech before, and not only from top to bottom, from leaders to executives, but also from bottom to top. So in both directions, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's so important. And I suppose it implicit then protocol within when we're programming agents, that we're programming that they don't hallucinate. We're it's getting better, I think, with hallucinations with a lot of platforms, but that they're programmed that they're not to, because AI had this tendency to give an answer, even if it wasn't correct, but that it's implicit that they don't make stuff up if they don't have the right answer, and better to admit. And so, you can, when you're building an agent, you can have that in your instructions, and so that they don't invent a price, or they don't invent an opening time,
Yeah,
that you understand them to cross-check. And I suppose then it's transparency with your audience or with your guests, that will say that there's a small line that that AI was used in drafting this, or that that it's always very transparent. So it comes down to when you're programming, or you're building an agent, is that you're building it with the context of your client, with their brand voice, with their you're building in the guidelines. Would say in our case, it's within Europe, it's the EU AI Act, and it's GDPR built into it. So to the best of your ability, you're building in those safeguards from the beginning, because and then it's testing it, and experimenting, and reiterating, because no matter what agent, it does take time. It's the feedback and the testing that is so important. But you build in as much as possible, with proper guardrails and safety and security and ethics, from the beginning. And again, as I said, I think for smaller businesses, it's not as difficult. I think at large enterprise, they have bigger issues, and there's so many dimensions to it, that that's why I think that for smaller businesses and SMEs and SMBs, they have the opportunity
Absolutely.
to use the AI in their favor, because they don't have as big issues.
I would like to emphasize one small point here, which is not so small, and that is that AI likes to please you.
Yes.
People,
yes.
Some people even like it, like they like this point, which is particularly bad. And there are prompts to do it, and to do it in another workflow, not AI to please you, just but to give you a proper answer or a proper task. And one workflow is to be brutal. I mean,
Yes.
quote brutal to AI. I like to be brutal in quote, and to talk with AI. This is also crucial to mention to the people and to explain. To talk like you are talking to your assistant, human assistant, or in this case, a tech assistant. And I talk all the time. So it knows already, and I argue a lot sometimes, even with bad words, even though it's forbidden
Yes.
within the code of the platform. But I know it sounds strange and creepy, but you talk to the people, and that's the easiest ways to talk with the AI, and also it's the fastest way to get results. Let's get to the next point, and that is if someone is watching now this and thinking, okay, this all makes sense, hopefully, but I still need a starting point. What you would tell to them, what to do in next 30 days? I know there is dedicated slide for this, so it's your stage.
Yeah. So I would think, as I said, you start with your team, no matter how small you are, getting together and having a real think tank about your our workshop, as we call it, listing all your current tasks, how your operating systems, how you do things, and be brutally honest about it. So you're looking at how things currently get done. And, very few businesses do that anyway. But it's so important because when you actually map it out, I think people are always surprised to think, oh my God, how many steps do we have to take to get that booking? And so it's a really good thing to do anyway. But as I was saying, if you're going to inform an agent or train an agent, they have to be trained on your steps and your processes and your systems. So the first step is, take time out. It might be if you're a bigger team, it might be a day or two out. I mean, you see the businesses that are doing best with AI now. They've given access to in this a paid tool, and they've kind of taken out a few days and just gone through all of their current systems, and they've gone through all of their processes and mapped them out and documented them. And then you're looking at every tool that you're currently using, all of the IT. You might have Canva here, you might have ChatGPT there, and where all of that data is. You might have duplication. You might have so we're suggesting that that is an inventory in itself, that to see what all of the different tools that you have. Give yourself a 30-day plan, and go through each stage, because each stage is important. And then you have write up your all of your, we say, do the audit, do the triage, then write up your SOPs and document them, because we can't advise AI if it doesn't document it. So they do need to be documented, and it's really worth doing this, because no matter what platform you work with, what AI tool, whether it's a chatbot or an AI agent, they're going to need to have this information. And then we're saying, you build out all of your assets and your credentials and your brand voice. This is how we sound. This is the type of content we write, because we're going to be training the AI in talking like us. We'd never use this language. This is our brand identity. This is how we speak. This is how we communicate. Then we're saying that you build in your like, what is your policy on AI usage? What are the guardrails that you're advising AI that is implicit within the whole system? And if you have all of that documented and policy, and like, it's so important for a business to have a policy and leadership to understand policy and implementation, but most businesses don't have a roadmap. I think, so recent research was saying 5% of, I can't remember now if that was for Ireland or it probably is reflective of SMEs, SMBs generally, but they don't really have a policy and a plan and a roadmap.
5% of them they have AI. Or not? They 5% only.
5%, only 5% have.
Only 5% have. Yeah.
So it is very small.
I can imagine. Yeah.
There isn't really a policy. There isn't really. So like, all of this information needs to be gathered and documented and decide and audited. And this is our plan forward. And to understand what AI can actually do for you. But when you do this process, when you implement this 30-day plan, you come out in a very strong position, because you're so clear where you want to go. We want to know first, before you touch an AI tool, what is it you want to do with it. So you come out very clear with your policy, and you've got all of your brand and your information, and you're then really in a much stronger place to start. And it's a very powerful thing to do, but I would say most businesses aren't doing it. But so before any business that listening today, if they're in tourism or travel, or any SME, take the 30-day plan and be really clear about what their current audit of their current processes, what they want from AI, where they need it, how it can, what it can automate, what it can actually do for them, and then take a small maybe area that they're, an area that's repetitive, that they know that is low risk, implement it. When they see the benefits and the results, then everyone has ownership of it then, and then they see how it works. Right now, I think a lot of trials and experimentation aren't working because people have jumped in without doing this foundational work, and they're probably not getting the results, and they've said, oh, AI isn't really working for us. But it has the potential to run your business. They are talking about the 1 billion one-man operation.
Yeah,
is
one man
possible.
operation, 1 billion.
It has happened. Partly there have, but you need to get the foundations right. Yeah, you don't build on sand where things are, they're rocky at the bottom. You're trying to build an app, or build an app here, or build a solution that you think you need, and then it just all crumbles. So
Absolutely.
get the foundations right.
I would add only one thing here, and that when you build it, it's not carved in stone. You should also rebuild it and iterate and see what's working, what's not working. And of course, with your team, if you have a bigger team or smaller team, even co-founders of whatever, whoever, even with your spouse or whoever is involved in small business, the best workflow is just to iterate and see what's working, what's not. But the base, it should be done properly, and you have explained really, really well. We are running out of time, but there are no really questions. There are more comments. I believe this is also from Maria. I know Maria, she's from Greece. She is also in tourism. She said, I have found a way to use AI for lead gen in tourism. It still needs manual touch for a very small business, always looking for ideas. Yeah, that's the fact, and that's already correlated with what we have touched. And I had said that the point about fixing foundation before automation is the part most people skip. That's absolutely true. I've seen teams buy 5 AI tools in 6 months and still run every process from memory. Yeah, that's also a fact. So there are no particular questions here. Nevertheless, they can ask questions whenever they want. They can DM you whenever they want, right? They can connect with you via LinkedIn, and they can ask questions. So I would like to wrap it up here because, as I mentioned, we are running out of time, even though it was really, really useful, and I believe also for the audience. From your side, it was really excellent presentation, excellent insights, and thank you for being here, Roisin. I like to wrap it up really quickly with 3 points. That's my drive. And the first one is small and medium travel businesses do not need more AI tools. They need more clarity around where AI actually fits. Second, automation should not come before the processes. If the workflow is messy, AI will not fix it. It will only scale the mess. And the third, the businesses that will benefit most are the ones that start simply, build basic guardrails, keep human oversights in the loop, and treat AI as the part of the system rather than just a pile of tools. That's for me a real message from today. I hope that you agree.
I agree, Niven.
Thank you. So my exam is always, I'm sorry, my goal is to pass the exam. Okay, I would just tell to the audience still present and also to the audience who will rewatch the episode that you will share with us, with them actually. You will share your free resource really useful for small and medium businesses, and that is the AI Business Growth Scorecard. You will share it on the LinkedIn Live page afterwards when we finish as a link. And maybe you can say just a few sentences around this scorecard, what it provides to the audience and to the users.
Yeah, it's at the scorecard. It's based on there's 20 questions. People don't like a lot of questions.
20 questions, so people be prepared.
But the more detailed or the more information, and try to score it as accurately as possible. But you will receive an email with a kind of a scorecard and a report about where you could implement AI and how it could benefit you. So we posted it in the LinkedIn. It kind of goes through the areas within your operations, your strategy, your marketing, and it's 4 areas within your probably current systems where you might be able to use AI and where it could benefit you. And as I say, the report is quite detailed, actually. So you get, it doesn't, you just complete the questionnaire, you get an email with your report and advice about what you should do next.
Excellent. Helen says, fully agree with the summary of 3, nicely wrapped up. Thank you, Helen. Always supportive comments are more than welcome. So I would like once again to thank first of you, Roisin, for your time and for your extremely tangible and insightful information you shared with us today, tonight, wherever you are. And everyone who joined, I mentioned, I will repeat, Roisin will share her AI Business Growth Scorecard, which helps you assess where your business is today and what to prioritize next. So once again, thank you, all of you, everyone joining us live, for watching and attending the live itself, and for your comments, of course. And of course, my usual workflow is to put this episode afterwards in a couple of days. You will have the opportunity to see it on YouTube via my LinkedIn account, also via Roisin LinkedIn account. We will share this episode on YouTube and also via my newsletter, AI Tourism Innovator, and an article. So you will have opportunity also to see it afterwards and to properly follow every detail from Roisin. So thank you once again, Roisin. Thank you everyone for joining live. See you in the next episode in May. Take care. All the best.
Bye, everybody.